everyone, my name's Miranda, and today I'm here to review the illustrious Blue Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater as part of my Raven Boys reread along leading up to the Raven King release. This is the third book in the series and my absolute favorite thus far. If you saw my review for Dream Thieves, I wasn't super impressed with it as much as I love Raven Boys. Blue Lily Blue was the complete opposite experience because I am absolutely 100% in love with this book. I loved it the first time I read it, and the reread has just reinvigorated my love for this series and for this book in particular because so much happens in this book. This is literally, I guess aside from Raven King obviously, the final countdown. Like, we are getting to crunch time, things are getting, pressure is pushing, everything's happening and everything is going out of control, and I absolutely love it. The book picks off with Mora, Blue's mother, now underground looking for Glendower, and Blue kind of on her own. All these very mysterious things that seem like coincidences, and overall just the stories and the storylines we've had are wrapping themselves more together and intertwining in a way that you see that this is really all connected. This book is really all about fate, and it has been about fate and kind of if you can change fate, if you really have to live your fate, or if you, by knowing it, can do something different about it. I think Blue Lily Blue so far has been the strongest indicator that sometimes you can't change fate, that no matter what you do, your life is always wrapped up in this event or these other people's in ways that you may not have known, as Blue finds out, as Gansey finds out, as Adam finds out, as Ronan finds out. So even if Blue hadn't gone and introduced herself to the Raven Boys and become friends with them, you see that, like, she still would have been wrapped up in their lives and they probably still would have met eventually. The big premise for this book, of course, is we're obviously trying to wake Glendower, but now we know there are 3 sleepers underground in a cave somewhere. One is Glendower, who we're supposed to wake, one we're not supposed to wake, and the third one, we don't really talk about that one. So this is kind of the whole mission in this book, is trying to figure out which one's the right one to wake and which one's the one we should not wake. And I have to say, I absolutely loved it. I like that, unlike Dream Thieves, I feel like the storyline was more wrapped up in the relationships of the characters, so it felt more authentic and more organic and really unputdownable. Like, you're reading things and you see Blue and Gansey are getting closer together, and Ronan and Adam are kind of doing this little dance around each other, and it's really amazing. I like how the relationships are both so strong yet so different, and I like that we also got to expand it not just to the romantic relationships but also farther out to the friendships we don't always see. Blue and Ronan were like my bro TP in this book. They were amazing in just like their subtle interactions where you see that he really does consider her a friend, and Blue kind of realizing that, oh my gosh, he really does care for me, that's so sweet. So they were awesome. They were bro TP of my lifetime. Blue and Gansey, on the other hand, are just as heartbreaking as you would expect them to be, because now they're kind of having this connection where they both know what her curse is, that she can't kiss him, but at the same time they're being drawn together by this idea of fate, this idea of you can't escape from who you were supposed to be. So they're being drawn together but also kind of pulled apart because of this big thing looming over them. Adam and Ronan are more subtle, I would say, but just as beautiful in the interactions they have and everything, and there's definitely more Adam and Ronan moments in this book where they're kind of off, just the two of them investigating things, because they kind of take their own mission aside from Gansey and Blue in the main group, which I really liked. It was really cool, and if you're definitely a big Parrish and Lynch shipper like I am, you're gonna enjoy it 100%. And then the other thing I liked about this book is the villain is really strong. I didn't really like Kavinsky or Mr. Grey when they were the villains in Dream Thieves. Green Mantle, on the other hand, so creepy and sleazy, and just kind of those villains you hate because they're basically like Lex Luthor, where they have money and connections and they don't dirty their hands at all. They just pay other people to do their dirty work for them, and it's absolutely horrifying just how entangled and how much they can ruin your life just at the drop of a hat. So I really like this villain. I think it's a strong indicator for where the next book is going to go, and I'm glad that they finally got a villain I feel like they can match and is just as interesting as the four main point of views. But other than that, this book has some really solid moments that are kind of spoilery, so if you haven't read the book and don't want to be spoiled, thank you so much for stopping by, but we're gonna have to part ways for now while I explain the little two spoilery parts that really got me going. Bye for now, non-spoilers! So the first part is, of course, Blue has this whole thing weighing down on her that she knows Gansey is going to die. She has fallen for him against her will, kind of. Like, she didn't want to fall for him and have her heart broken, but it's happening. Adam, being the intuitive person that he is, realizes when he hears about this death list that the psychics have going, one of them is on it because of how cagey they're being, and he kind of confronts Blue about it, and she basically tells him without saying that it's Gansey, and that moment was absolutely heartbreaking because you've known from the first book that Adam has this fear looming over him from his vision where he was the one standing over like a bloody Gansey and Ronan saying, this is your fault, you could have stopped it. So now he's kind of taken it on himself even further, that now he knows Gansey is supposed to die, so he knows something, some action he does may cause that, and sometimes that's like the scariest thing, and they kind of touched upon it in this book, is that the future is so circular, like it's never set in a point. You never know if when you see something in the future it's because it's happening or if it's because you saw it that now it's going to happen. And we saw that kind of with Blue and Gansey when they had their little cute moment in the car when they almost kissed, and Gansey repeated the line, maybe it won't hurt if I kiss you, if you don't kiss me. He said that because he had seen it in a vision before, so you kind of see this whole line to it and how everything's different. So I'm wondering if now that Adam's like so convinced, like, oh, I'm not going to kill Gansey, I'm going to do my hardest not to, that is eventually going to lead to Gansey's downfall. So I really, really enjoyed the story. It ended also on such a good cliffhanger. Like, the other two were like, like I didn't feel like I needed to run out and immediately grab the next book, except for maybe Raven Boys, because finding out that Ronan could take things from his dream was pretty cool. But this one, waking the sleeper and Neve coming back and waking the sleeper that we know is not supposed to be woken, you're like, oh crap, this is not good for the next book. Like I said, this book just has a feeling of time running out, of we need to do this, it's happening, but at the same time we don't want it to happen because we know that Gansey is going to die, everyone's going to be very sad, Adam's going to be heartbroken because he's probably going to lead to something that happens with Gansey's death. Blue is going to be horrified. Ronan is going to be so PO'd and just heartbroken, and I'm just not ready for it. But that was definitely like the prevailing sense in this book, that we were running out of time. Things were happening whether we wanted them to or not. Like, Mora is missing, Gansey and Blue are getting closer and almost kissing even though they know they're not supposed to. We're finding the caves where Glendower is. Like, everything is happening and everything is already set in motion, and the characters are just along for the ride at this point. So I definitely give this book 5 out of 5 stars. It is one of my favorite books ever, my favorite book in the series thus far. I honestly don't know if Raven King is going to be able to top it, but we will find out very, very soon, and I'm very, very excited to wrap this series up, but also sad to say bye to these characters, and also because we know Gansey's going to die. So that's going to be pretty sad and heartbreaking, but we'll get through it. Somehow. We always do. Alright, thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel down below to be sure when I make all sorts of new videos. I will see you guys in the future for a new Raven King book talk. Bye everyone!